Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here, everybody. Hello, Car Guy and Millie and Not Crazy by Crazy Lady and Ginger Girl's mom and everybody, Heather Marie. Thank you all for being here. Hey, Nana. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Sorry I was a little bit late. CJ, hello. Hello to all coming in. I was backstage talking to Robin and got teared up a little bit, so I had to go get some tissue, which I should have had tissue here already, so I apologize for that. Y'all know Robin. She's been around on these YouTube streets as long as I know, for the last 4 years that I've been here, probably longer than that. So this may be triggering. We're going to talk about her story tonight. It's coming up in April on the anniversary where her little 5-year-old girl, Nicole, was brutally murdered. Senselessly. There's not even words I can tell you. We'll get into all that. This is a very, yes, thank you, Millie. This is a very sensitive topic, subject, and it's not for little ears. But she is Nicole's voice. All these years later, she's Nicole's voice. And this needs to be heard. There was some laws changed. And, this person, his name is Jason. Sorry, my husband's coming in. His name is Jason, which is hard for her to say. Just a second. And I don't think she said it for a long time. He's a monster. She called him the devil. And yeah, please, Heather, it's a really bad trigger warning. I won't sugarcoat it. This was a 5-year-old little girl. Her quote was, when she had an interview I was reading with one of the news stations, "This man is a monster. He admitted he killed my daughter. I don't even call him Jason. His first name is Devil," quote. That was back in 2017, August 22nd, with ABC 13 on your side. I'm going to bring Robin up now, and we're going to do this interview just smiley way. And that's how it's going to be done. You can like it, love it, or hate it, but I don't see how you can hate what's going on here other than hate Jason, who did admit to what he did the very next day to a friend and admit to the law enforcement what he did. And I don't think he ever deserves to get out. Hold on just a moment. I'm going to bring Robin up. Hi, Robin. I'm so sorry what you're going through. Take your time, Robin. I'm just looking at this paper here, the one I printed out of one of the News archives. Sitting here looking at you today. Hold on. It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah,
Tearful mother. Tearful mother. And you're sitting here crying today, all these years later. Tell them how many years it's been. What you just told me.
31 years.
31 years. And Robin's still fighting for her daughter, Nicole.
And
It's her,
he is still fighting.
and he's still fighting. He's still fighting to get out.
They have until April 4th to go through all the paperwork and take it to the appellate judges, and we won't be there.
Is this
It's
the is this the only one you won't be able to go to? Have you
it's
been to all the others? I mean,
um yes, I've been to all the others. Plus I've been back to Michigan plenty of times to rally with the news and police escort. Um but they told me that if he gets denied his appeal, then he's going to take it to the Supreme Court.
so he'll have one shot. Am I understanding that right? At the Supreme Court? Or will he have more than that?
He can appeal as many times as he wants to.
This headline says tearful mother wants answers. Her child was just a baby when she was killed in April. This was back in 1995. Is that correct, Robin? This one right here?
Yes, that's when he was sentenced.
That's when he was sentenced, but um,
First time.
the first time. So they let him do another trial. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So he had a second trial because they said the first trial was his lawyer was not competent. Is that correct, or am I wrong on that?
Uh,
Did he get a chance at another lawyer?
he has a defense attorney. I mean, a public defender, and
Okay.
she's telling the judge that he was prejudicially charged for the second life term in prison,
Hmm.
and the judge let her talk. And I was on Zoom. I couldn't say anything or be seen. I could just listen. And the judge told her, I don't feel like there's anything that's been said in my courtroom that is prejudicial. This man has no remorse.
Right. Okay. And this guy, he was 16 at the time. I'm just trying to set the stage for these people. He was 16 at the time, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And but let me set this kind of stage for y'all, okay? He was 16 at the time. Okay, there's some trigger warnings here, y'all. Um this guy Jason, he not only murdered, this is my opinion and how I'm going to do it. He not only murdered this little 5-year-old girl, Robin's daughter, Nicole, he tortured her, y'all. He knew right from wrong, okay? He done all these unimaginable things to her. He raped her. He took her to an abandoned house first.
Many times.
Yeah, many times. If you need me to stop, Robin, I will. He beat her. I understand there was a there was a rod used, a curtain rod. There was boards used. All right, trigger warning, y'all. He hit her in the head with a hatchet. Is it, that's correct, right, Robin?
Yes.
Whew.
That was her last breath.
That was her last breath. There was horrible, horrible things done to this little 5-year-old girl. And he told them she was 5 years old, Kelly. 5.
She was actually 5 years and 3 months old.
5 years and 3 months old.
She wasn't even in kindergarten.
He said, it wasn't good enough that he raped her, hit her, beat her with boards and curtain rods and all of this stuff. He said, what I researched, and Robin could tell you, he hit her in the head because she fought back. He hit her in the head with the hatchet in the top of the head because she would not shut up screaming. A 16-year-old that knew he was hurting her, killing her, over killing her. Sorry, Robin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't understand.
I have to calm down. I have to remember you're here. I'm sorry. I get so passionate with these cases. I'm so sorry, Robin. I'm sorry. Robin, you have to tell me to be quiet when you need to. I'm sorry. Robin.
I don't understand why did he have to kill her? And she was a baby, and she could have got much counseling. She could have went through so many years, whatever she needed to go to counseling. She could have got help. She was gonna get caught. He was gonna get caught anyways. I mean, he told on himself.
Yeah.
He told his best friend, so he thought was his best friend. His best friend called 911. They wouldn't let me near her. They carried me back home and stayed guarded at my door. They would not let me see her at all.
How did you find out? First of all, let me ask you this. Okay. Did you feel like she was passed away?
No, I didn't feel like that.
Okay. Where was she supposed to be, Robin, when how did you miss her? Where was she supposed to be at when this happened?
Just every day after school, she goes over to my neighbor's house, which is her best friend. his stepsister, and they play. And Jason, I guess what happened was Jason caught Nicole out in the side yard, and he said, "Do you want to come over and play with Nikki?" Knowing Nikki was not there.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've been told this 20 some odd years later by a prosecutor. And so he lured Nicole over there. Nicole, we had a candy store like across the whole yard. We had a whole yard, and there was a candy store like right at the corner. And he gave her 2 dimes and told her to go buy some candy and bring it back and share it with him. Nicole knew to check back in with me. She was supposed to check in with me every 5 minutes. She was just across the street.
Right.
And so I didn't see Nicole. I called the police. Like, it was too late. It was like 3:30 or 3:15 or something like that in the afternoon. I called the police. I said, I can't find my daughter. And they asked me where she was. I said, she's across the street. Well, I don't know. I don't know how they found her, but Jason was out looking for Nicole too. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, you're out here looking for my daughter and you know damn well where she's at.
Oh, wow. So he was looking for her too.
But
Wow.
see, police are very smart.
Yeah.
They went inside of Jason's dad's house, and you know, they're very observant. They saw a pair of boots by the door that had blood on them.
Uh-huh.
So, and they noticed the black garbage bags. When they found Nicole, she was in a black garbage bag with 1 sock on.
Oh, God.
And there was gas tanks all over her body. That's it. She was in a shallow grave. He didn't even bury her.
How far was she from your home?
She was, I mean, she was like, I would say 2 houses, like, because the backyard was huge.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
I just thank God that the medical examiner and everyone that was in the courtroom this last time I went is still alive, because they were able to tell the story.
Right. So now you had, I say had because you had 3 other children. One of them passed away because he has seizures, and he had a seizure fishing after that, and he drowned fishing, and that's coming up too also. um um March 10th, am I correct on that?
March 27th.
27th, I apologize. um and my condolences about that as well. So you've been through pure hell. um so
I fought for 4 years for Nick, my son.
mhm.
I had a wrongful death suit. I believed I did, because the doc that he was on wasn't up to code.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a hotel motel place where he was fishing at.
Mm-hmm.
And the dock wasn't up to code. And I felt as if I had a wrongful death suit, but I fought that wrongful death suit for 4 years and I lost.
Right. Um, well, sometimes if you don't have the means or the money, that's, just the way it goes, unfortunately. Um, and it's sad. It's very
I
sad.
I didn't I called the police and my son, they couldn't find my son. My son had an ankle monitor on him because he had just got him out of jail. I had just got him out of jail and I only was with him for 2 months. And the police, how can you not find, why do you even put an ankle bracelet on people and you can't find them? You didn't even go to the right place when I told you where to go, where
Yeah.
I knew he was. But by then they couldn't have found him anyway because your body has to drown and get all the water in your lungs. And well, the first thing the freaking detective calls me and says, your son had a seizure and drowned, but he had marijuana in his system. I said, is that all you got to tell me? And I hung up the phone. I
I'm so,
didn't give a damn. I know my kids smoke marijuana. I don't care.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, what I was going to ask you, I was going to ask you because with your little girl, Nicole, um, how did you tell your other kids and how did that affect them?
Actually, I ended up in the hospital
Oh, I imagine.
because I didn't know what was going on with me. And they gave me a Valium, and I was knocked out for quite a while. And when I came through, I had a pastor over me, and he told me, I kind of remembered it, but being sedated like I was, I had to, I had DCF step in and take my kids for a while. I think
Yeah.
they were gone maybe for a week or two,
Yeah.
maybe, so I could get myself together.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how I told them.
Do you
But my son, he's 37 now, and last time we went to court, he was on Zoom and here where we live, and I was up north, and I can't even remember what he said.
it's okay. It's been a long time. I mean, I mean, I probably would have just had a nervous breakdown right there if that was my daughter. I'm just telling you. Um, I don't think I would have coped too good at all. Um, Tell us some good times about your daughter. Like, what was her favorite food? And but because you lived in Michigan, like, did she ever get to play in the snow? Did she like the snow? Tell us some good things.
Nicole was very prissy. She had to have nice clothes on all the time.
Mhm.
She always had her hands on her hips. She would shake her head at you and tell you, but no, I'm not going to do that. I said, Nicole, change your clothes. She would change her clothes 5 times a day.
Right.
That's how often she was home. She would change her clothes probably 5 times in a day.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think that anything ever happened until that day. I I would have known, Nicole. I would have known. I know
Yeah.
my kids,
Yeah.
but yeah, she one day she climbed a tree
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "Mom, how am I going to get down?" I said, "How did you get up there? I can't. I can't come up there and get you."
I was scared of heights. I told that story on my live one time. I would go play with my friends and I would we'd climb a certain tree. I'd climb a tree every single day, but I was scared to get down and I couldn't get down. I bet
Oh,
that's the way she was.
she was much loved. She was so much loved. Um,
Oh,
she
oh,
has her father's not in her life. He hasn't even went to any after the first sentence. He hadn't shown up for anything. He's not even in contact with the courts at all, and it really pisses me off because Nicole was his first child,
yeah.
so that really makes me mad. But it's okay. I'll continue to fight for my daughter.
Do you still have contact with him to this
No,
day? Or?
no,
Wow, that's sad.
it's
What?
okay.
Yeah. Well, what was her favorite food?
Um, anything she wanted.
She sounded like she was just a happy little girl.
She was. She had so much fun. I mean, my daughter wasn't, she didn't know what the word prejudice meant.
Yeah,
Her best friend was mixed. She was black,
yeah,
and she grew up to be a beautiful girl. And she was the one I was standing with at the candlelight walk when we had years, no, it was a couple years back, and I gave her a picture of Nicole, and I found out a few years back that someone put fentanyl in her marijuana and she overdosed, and she
mm,
was R'd many times. And then her son went and took a gun and went and Cade, her stepsister, and her son. And I'm like, wow, this family's some kind of messed up.
yeah. Woman's Warrior said, Robin, you do not have to say how loved she is because we can hear it. It's been years and your pain is still so raw. I can't imagine how much pain you were in at the time, sweetheart. Sending love.
Thank you.
Also, um, I had not crazy by crazy lady my mod put up. If anyone, Robin had asked, she said she tried this before, but nobody ever sent pictures or anything. Um, she don't really have any family or anybody in Michigan. But if anybody is local to the Memorial Park Cemetery in Michigan and would like to place flowers, you can go in the dollar store, Dollar Tree, anything, and get them for little or nothing. And if you'd like to place flowers or trinkets or anything on Nicole's grave, this right here is the plot number and everything there where you can do that. um, it would be a nice little gesture and something you could do if you're out sometime, maybe buying a cup of coffee. I don't think it would hurt. um, I have been many times. I did it on camera, I did it off of camera, um, and picked up trash or sticks when there were storms in different graveyards. Sometimes people don't have family or their families passed on or whatever. But Robin was telling me earlier, you know, she's 1,800 miles away from Michigan now. And if you're up that way, just do it. Take a picture and send it to her. She'll put it on her Facebook group and recognize you for that. And her Facebook group has been dropped. I think that would be a really nice thing to do, not just for Robin, but for Nicole as well. I just think that would be real nice. Robin, tell me again. I mean, the laws were changed. In what year was the laws changed? This is the whole reason why that they're trying to get him where he can get out. Because okay, so they're saying one thing. They're saying, just tell me what year. I'm sorry, what year was? They changed the laws, and what they're trying to do, y'all, in case you're not understanding, is, because I had to go over it several times, what they're trying to do is say, hey, he was 16, but he, as an adult, he's had time to learn and grow into this person and all this kind of stuff, and all that. And so he should be able to have a chance at life and all this. Well, let me just say this. I did ask Robin a question. I'll let her answer in a minute. Let me just tell you this. He's rehabilitated is what they're trying to say after he's got grown. But let me just tell you something from Smiley. And this is from Smiley. And I hope that the Supreme Court, the appeals court, whoever court is listening. Of course, I know they're not listening to me, but whatever. See, the prosecutor, David Gilbert, at the time said he opposed any possible parole. And he said at that time that they were against it. That's what he said. But Jason's attorney said it's not about the crime, but about the defendant. Well, I beg to differ. Yeah, I don't think you can rehabilitate that woman's warrior. So Jason's attorney said they don't dispute what he did. Well, you can't dispute it. But the question was that as an adult, Jason is rehabilitated and grown up to, what he's grown up to be. Well, let Smiley tell you what he's grown up to be, because I'm going to tell you what he's grown up to be. Okay? He's grown up to be a worse offender is what he's grown up to be. He's grown up to be in prison, in my opinion, unrehabilitated. Worse than he ever was before. He would never make it out in this world, even with a new identity, in my opinion. That's Smiley's opinion. Only, of course, he was already the spawn of the devil when he went in. He knew right from wrong, and he made a choice. He made a choice to harm beyond words a precious 5-year-old little Nicole, and not only murder her, but like I said, to kill, overkill. Excuse me. He's been in jail, in prison all this time, and he's what do you call that when you're let's see, when people are so whatever to the system, like they're they're stuck in the system, and they go out and they come back in, they go out. What is that? You're whatever. I don't know, but anyway,
he's never been in trouble.
Yeah, he's never been in trouble, but he just wasn't caught yet. You see what I'm saying?
So so Jason was convicted in 95.
Yeah, reoffender. Yep, thank you.
He was convicted in 95. as an adult. And I didn't know that. They had to retell me because the only thing that I remember is all the horrible things that he did to her.
Mhm.
I don't really remember everything that was said in court, but I know the Miller hearing, if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's a constitutional law. It's unconstitutional to sentence a child to life in prison without parole.
Mhm.
That's what
Well,
the Miller hearing is, and it came out in 2012. And I don't understand how he can be under such a law that came out many years after the fact.
right, because that was the same way what they said with Megan Boswell. Well, we're not going to give her the death sentence because she was underage at the time or something like that. But now they changed the laws, but he already committed the crime and the
Right.
laws. So how are they going to go back and say, okay, well, you understand what I mean? So how are they going to go back and give him? He was already grandfathered in, so they shouldn't change it for him. But the point of the matter is they can give him his appeals and stuff, but they should never let him out because he's not rehabilitated. Now, this is just my opinion,
And
but if they let him out, what I'm saying is he's learned. Listen, I don't care if it's a law or it's not a law. If you go in prison right now and you spend, I'm going to say, at least 5 to 7 years in prison, you're going to learn more shit in prison than you did before you went in. He's been in there, what, 30? Tell me how many years again? I don't want to say it wrong.
April 24th will be 32 years.
32 years. Yes, that's what I'm looking at, Shell. He's institutionalized now. He's institutionalized. Thank you so much. So he's institutionalized. So he would never make it out here on these streets. He'll be forever the rest of his life in and out of jail for something. But even at that, he will lie. He has learned more lies, cheating, stealing, and everything else. But he will come back out on these streets. He went in as a real, real murderer, even beyond that, in my opinion. And he's going to, if he ever gets out, the Supreme Court, everybody, Katie, bar the doors, because he's going to end up out here being not only a liar, a cheater, a stealer, and a killer. He's going to be a real large, big time serial killer, in my opinion, and a rapist at the biggest predator and everything else he can be. And everybody better lock their doors and keep their wives, moms, dads, children inside, because he will never stop, ever. And if he may not ever get caught. He may not ever get caught. He does not need to see the time of day ever out on these streets again. I'm just telling you. And I would say it whether he was up here or not. He don't. He don't. And I don't know what we can do to help, but you tell us what we can do to help, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that will be happy to do it.
Well, actually, it's in the court's hands. There's nothing more we can do except keep Nicole's voice. Keep. I have a group for Nicole that's been going on since 2018. It's called We Are Nicole's Voice, and it is private, so you have to ask to become, come in there. But right now it's out of our hands. There's nothing. I mean, I can't even go to appeals. I can't. They may have it on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
because the Court of Appeals told me that they have it. They do it on YouTube. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, why would they put a half-hour argument between two women and appellate judges on YouTube?
Yeah.
Like a half hour, really?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna watch, but they got until the 4th of April to come. I talked to the prosecutor, and it's a woman, and his attorney is a woman, and the judge is a man. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Robin, not crazy about crazy lady wants to know, is there a way to express concerns to the parole board? Is that allowed?
There isn't a parole board. He's not up for parole.
Okay. Um,
He got sentenced twice to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
so what he's trying to do is like a new trial, correct?
Right, because his law student attorneys, he feels because he took law up in prison that he knows how the law is supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's why he's fighting. And
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you little, you know what? Keep fighting. Because as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight you right back. Whether I can't be there, I'm still going to fight. Because I have a phone and I have numbers.
Yeah. Right. So she said that the Facebook group is called Nicole's Voice.
We are Nicole's voice.
I'm sorry, we are Nicole's Voice. So if you drop that link, you got to fill out to join it, but join it, and then you can get all the information on that, and go in there and kind of find out and keep up with it. And then at that point, if there's anything you can do or whatever, that would be helpful or anything like that, I'm sure she'll pass it on that way.
We already did a petition in Michigan. They only needed 1,000 signatures. We had like 5,000 signatures to keep him in prison. And the
Thank
judge,
you,
I don't know if the judge even read any of it, honestly, but I believe the third day of listening to his attorneys, and about his life, and about, well, he was hired at 3 years old by who gives a damn?
Yeah.
Who gives a damn? Just like the prosecutor said, you want to talk about rehabilitation?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Let there be a little 5-year-old little girl running around prison and see how many of those men up in there are rehabilitated.
Right. Exactly.
That's exactly what David Gilbert said.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree to that. Man, this is a lot. Mm, mm, mm. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I think you're very strong for,
That's
being
why I
in.
follow missing children. I've never done that before.
Yeah, I was
I've
fixing
never.
to say that how you handle doing these cases and being very strong for, going through and hearing all these things, because it's sad and it's hard. I know it has to be hard.
My first missing, her name was Rebecca, and her uncle took her.
Uh-huh.
And I kept repeating it over and over and over and over and over and over on Facebook. Take her to the hospital. Take her to the hospital. Take her to the hospital. Just repeatedly. He took her to the hospital, and the police were right behind him. Rebecca
Oh,
was
wow.
safe.
Wow.
Then I watched Lucas Hernandez. I watched how smooth David Marshburn is. Then I watched Mariah Woods. Then I watched Summer Moon. Oh, God, that's just... Same age as my daughter.
A lot of people thought in Summer's case that you were all for Dawn and Candace, and
I
I mean,
was.
you don't have to say anything.
I
You don't.
was. I was because, I mean, but like in Sebastian's, I'm not for any of them. I
But
believe they're all of
can I
them are involved.
can I just ask you what is the difference in, or what was the difference in your opinion with Summer's parents and Sebastian's? Let me ask you like that. I don't want to put you on the spot for anything.
Um,
Excuse me.
like it's just, I don't know. It was just like where Summer lived, how, they lived on a hill and they were in countryside, and I don't, at first I was, really, I was for them, but I don't know. I don't know. Summer's been gone for a long time. But Sebastian's case, I think we all pretty much know what's going on with that case.
Yeah, yeah. It's all sad. It's just a mess, all of it. Um, do you think, this is a hard question I'm fixing to ask you. You told me backstage and this includes in court or anything like that, the first one. Have you ever spoken to him like in court, or got to read out any letters like that, or whatever? I know he can't contact you now, but like, were you ever able to read one of those kind of letters that they do in court?
Yes.
Okay. How did
Yes, I
that
did.
how did that work out? How did that go?
That's funny that you asked me that, because I mean, not funny like ha ha ha, but
Um,
when I first got up on the stand, I was really nervous. I was like, my voice wasn't there. Then all out of nowhere, I got louder, and I was like, Nicole's coming through. And I had her picture, the picture that says Guardian Angel. That picture is up there in Michigan on the victims unit's wall.
mhm.
And it's the only 8x10 picture they have of any child that's ever been missing in the state of Michigan.
Oh,
And my son was like, Mom, this is the original picture. I can't do this. I said, You're not doing nothing. I'm sending it. So when it was time for me to do my victim statement, I had Nicole's picture in my hand, and I showed Jason after I got done with my statement. That was the only time he looked up.
mhm.
See, this is how defense works. Defense tells their clients to keep their head down.
Mhm.
Remember the Megan Boswell, how she
Yeah.
kept her head down? That's what the defensive tactic is.
But he looked up at you.
He damn sure looked at that picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray to God he has nightmares.
Okay, this is a hard question. I don't know if it's fair, but I'm going to ask you. Do you think you could ever forgive him for what he did to your daughter? For your peace of mind?
I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
I just see some people say that, and I don't know how they could. I mean,
I don't think I can. I don't. I mean, it would be a miracle. I came out of nowhere one day years back, and I called my stepmother and I told her, I'm not even going to go into detail of what you did to me and my sister. I'm just calling you to tell you that I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was abused and it was the right thing to do. But can I forgive him? I don't think I can. Or maybe I have. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I hate him.
Yeah.
He's not human.
Maybe you should just, even if you don't forgive him, maybe you should just pray for him. I don't know.
I have prayed for him. I don't pray for him, but I have.
Yeah. Your daughter didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve any of that. And I am so sorry that happened.
I mean, the people that were out, we were out walking till like 4:30 in the morning in freezing rain, April 24th. It was so cold, and we kept screaming for her. And I thought, I don't know, maybe it was a year later, I thought, I wonder if Nicole even heard me.
I think I think she did, and I think this is just my opinion only, but I think that God don't let little children suffer, and I think
Right.
she is your angel, and I think she watches over you now.
Because this is something else I didn't know until I went to court and was sitting with the prosecutor, that even after Nicole was deceased, he was still on her.
Oh my God.
And he had a girlfriend that was 16 and she was pregnant. She lost the baby and she overdosed.
Oh my God. That is horrible because of all this. I mean,
and his sister that I have never met, his real sister that I've never met, because he's from Cambodia. She was on Zoom when we went to court. I seen her name come up. Not her face, just her name. And my granddaughter, when I got back to Michigan, already had her name, address, and telephone number Googled. I was like, wow. So, of course, I tried to call the number and I couldn't get through. Nothing.
Wow. And you told me backstage Well, you didn't tell me, but we were talking, and you were. So I'm going to ask you this because we didn't go into it. Time was running out, but and then I became crybaby. But you was telling me about your move and everything, and then you said, "Oh, I don't know, Woman's Warrior, who would be responsible for him, nor do I freaking care. I hope he never
Who,
gets out. I hope he never gets
who,
out."
if if they was to set him free, he wouldn't be in the street. He'd have to go into a halfway house because he's been in prison since he was a child.
Yeah, surely he would have to be. Um, it would probably be like that Sling Blade or something like that. I don't know. I
But I
really.
don't honestly don't believe that they're I don't believe that he's getting any of chances.
Yeah, hopefully he'll fail every time he tries. Hopefully. Um, but so we were talking about that, and what you said when you moved to Florida and everything, and you had turned to go back a couple of times, and then I think it was your dad who said, um, you know,
Yeah.
about
When
like they'll keep going after you. My question is like, was the boy's family going after you and causing you a lot of
no,
problem?
no, that's not what he meant. He meant that they were not going to keep checking on me. They weren't going to leave me alone. They wanted to always know if I'm okay. Because Nicole, my kids were well known where we lived.
Oh, okay.
I lived on a corner lot
Yeah.
in a duplex. It was a 2-bedroom, upstairs, basement. Michigan has basements.
Yeah.
So that's what he was telling me why I shouldn't stay there, because they the community would not. I mean, they were at my apartment every single day, dropping off food, flowers, balloons, money, and I'm like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, you were having a real, yeah, I get it.
I mean, somebody brought a balloon, and it's so crazy because I couldn't sleep upstairs in my bed because me and Nicole used to take naps together,
Yeah.
and there was a balloon, and it's this balloon. I slept on the couch. This balloon was by my head, and I went over to my next door neighbors because we had a duplex. And I
Yeah.
went over there, and I was like, "Look at this!" And she jumped over her couch. I'm like, "What are you doing? Why you jump over your couch?"
Right.
I just felt like Nicole was still right here with me, because this balloon would follow me wherever I went. And I was like, oh my God. And I honestly, I had called a prayer line, and they told me that the devil was playing tricks with me, and I hung up. I hung up. I
Oh my
hung
God.
up. I was like, no, that's not the devil. That's my daughter.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's very popular pastor too. Very television wise. I called it, and that's what they told me.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Yeah, it was. I mean, I understand. Like, you probably didn't know if he was coming or going, and then he was telling you that, and then the blues and all that. Wow, that's crazy.
So
Oh,
how I knew my daughter was why all the police were in the backyard is because they came and told me. Well, they came and asked me if I had a funeral home picked out. I'm like, what?
yeah.
What? And then I collapsed out. I was done for. There was no way I could handle what they were talking about.
Yeah. Wow. So, does anybody have any other questions that you can think of? Not all visits are bad, right? Right. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else have any other questions that you can think of? I'm trying to think here. Because yeah, I mean, y'all see the difference in this mother right here, 32 years, and you know, she still wants to hold her daughter. She still is talking, for her daughter. She still cries for her daughter. And she still advocates for her daughter. Cecilia says, do you still feel her around you?
I don't.
You don't.
And I don't understand why. I mean, I have a lock of her hair. I still have a lock of her hair because I asked for it. And when it came time for them to get her or whatever, the mortician does, or they told me that they had to have a closed casket. I said, no, you will not have a closed casket. You will open that casket. I don't care if you got to work hard. You will have that casket open. And they had that casket open. And the peace that came over me just seeing her laying there. I mean, this sounds crazy, but I had a peace that just came through my whole body. Like, I knew right then. I mean, I knew where my daughter, I know where my son is. I know where they're both at. My son drowned because of his seizures. And God has his ways of saying, it's time to come home. It's time to come home.
Yeah.
And I know that Nicole fought back, but I also know that Nicole didn't suffer. And when someone told me that sitting next to me, that she was raped, and she told me that, trust me when I tell you, God did not let her suffer. I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that at all. It took me a long time to get that in my head because of everything he's done to her. I mean, they brought the whole basement to the courthouse.
Wow.
It took that long to go to court. It took a whole year to go back to court. They took the whole basement in the courtroom.
Wow. Now, they tore down that house now, right?
Yes, it's been torn down. The guy that, his name is Bobby Holly.
Uh-huh.
He bought the house and he had it torn down.
Wow. He did that just for that reason?
Yep.
Good for him.
Yep. He bought the house and tore it down.
Well, thank you, Jesus.
They interviewed the man at the candy fish. It's a fish store, but he sells candy too. And he knew Nicole, and he told the media, he said, that was a strange day. He said, Nicole's been coming in here with her mom and her brothers for a long time. I've never seen Nicole come in here by herself. And she always gets the same candy, coconut bars.
Oh.
And that just took back. When I go to the store and I see them coconut bars, I always get them.
Oh, bless your heart. I am so sorry. I'm sorry, Robin.
But the store wasn't nowhere far. It was just like we lived on a lot. Like the apartment that we stayed in, it was like the only building on a lot beside the store, besides the store.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a grocery store, it was just a family owned mom and pop shop.
Yeah. Mm. At one time, you and about 30 of your supporters marched through the neighborhood where Nicole was killed to protest Jason's being released. And, you know, you were her voice then. You said your voice needed to be heard. And you said what happened affected not only you, but it affected the whole entire community. And it still is. And you feel like they needed to hear you. And somebody heard you by buying that house, and I feel like tearing it down. And that shows right there. It affected somebody in that community, and it affected the whole community. They did not want that house there.
No, they didn't. Bobby Holly had money. So
Yeah.
now when I went back to court a couple years ago when he was resentenced, I went by my old apartment, and when we did our rally, we walked around the whole block, and I didn't even recognize the house that Jason lived in. I'm like, where is the house that he lived in? Because without the abandoned house being there, I couldn't recognize the house that Jason lived in. It's like it was gone too.
Yeah. Wow. Did you ever get a chance to speak to his parents?
I talked to his dad. I asked his dad what happened, and he was crying. He said, I don't know. I don't know. He was up all night watching demonic movies.
Do you blame his parents?
No.
Okay.
Actually, his stepmother's like she's deceased, and his father lives somewhere here in Florida.
Yeah. That Woman's Warrior wants to know what kind of support care have you been given to help with this terrible thing that's happened, if you don't mind her asking.
I went to counseling. I took my kids to counseling once we moved to where we're at now. And it really wasn't helping. The medical insurance I'm on now, I counseled with a counselor, and she was like, you gotta let it go. And I'm like, okay, I gotta let it go.
Wow.
I can't let it go. I'm not gonna let it go. I actually want him to just be dust, honestly.
Yeah. That's You can't just let something like, I don't see how you can let something like that go. A lot of easier said than done. They said a lot of love and support is sent to you today and every day. She said she's asked him because she didn't think that it would help. You need other mothers who have been through the same thing, maybe.
Well, I watch Brandy, and Brandy's a perfect example of an advocate.
Absolutely.
Brandy is
Go ahead, Celia. Thank you, honey. Be safe.
Michael's voice for good. I mean, God bless her. There's not many parents out here fighting for their children that are gone, don't know where they're at, or know where they're at and just not saying. There's nobody saying anything for Sebastian except us.
Exactly.
What are we supposed to think? I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, and here you are, and you know, what are we supposed to think exactly? I mean,
little monkey's so cute. Oh my God, he's such adorable boy.
I
I
know,
tell you,
I know. Oh my God, it's just terrible.
if
And
Nicole was here, Nicole would be 35 years old.
yeah, wow. And it's a damn shame. You got people threatening people or look this way or try to cause distractions. When somebody wants to try to help or do the very best that they can to try to help find a missing child, when all along the damn, well, we know who knows where in the hell they're at, and that don't make no sense. But here you are, all these years later, and Brandy, all she wants is, and advocating for other children. It makes no sense whatsoever. And it's very telling. It just really is very telling. Um, you said Nicole would have been 37.
No, 35.
I'm sorry, 35. I apologize. She would have had her entire life in front of her. She was 5 years old, and there's no telling what she would have grown up to be, you know. But Jason took all that away from her. He
And
took
me, and Nick,
and
and my family.
absolutely.
I mean,
And
my grandkids are 16, 16, 18, 11, 2, and 2 months. And my grandkids know all about what happened to Nicole.
yeah, Nicole was a happy little girl that day that he saw that day. She was going to get candy. He can never be, in my opinion, rehabilitated. What he did was torture.
The problem is with that is she trusted him. I mean,
Yes.
Jason was 16 and Nick, her brother, was only 9, so of course she trusted him. She looked up to Jason like that was her big brother. Her older brother that.
Yeah, because she had older brothers, She didn't know any better. She was playing with her little friend. That was her friend's brother. She didn't know any better. She thought that was her brother, the same as her brother. She was 5. There's no excuse for that.
No, not at
No.
all. Monkey was 5. Summer was 5. Lucas Hernandez was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Mariah Woods was 5. She was put in a bag with concrete and put into a creek by her stepdad.
Yeah.
Billy Joe Clyde, he was 5. I'm never gonna understand. I just don't understand. I don't, but I'm not gonna stop advocating because I don't understand, because they need a voice. I
Yeah.
talked to Mr. Daniels,
Mm-hmm. And
and
oh,
I
I'm sorry.
talked to Mariah Woods' grandma.
Uh-huh.
I talked to these parents.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I haven't talked to Brandy, but I do pray for her, and I thank God for everyone that's helping her with her what's going on in her life, and
Yeah.
helping with her food and her finances, and she's got beautiful children.
Yeah. She's the sweetest.
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
She's the sweetest person ever. And um, she's been up here one time, and um, I really send out prayers to her and her family, and she's a real good-hearted person, and yeah, much love to her. Much love to her.
And not for a second did I think his daddy had anything to do with my monkey. Anything to
Oh
do.
no, no, not at all. Never, never, ever, ever. I didn't. Never. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, but I tell you what, we're gonna. If anybody wants to, um, like I said, put flowers on the grave or any trinkets, please do that. If you want to send Robin anything via Cash App, there's her Cash App up here. You can see it. Cat Lady 1234. Any little
Cats.
thing will help. Yep, Cat CAT. Have I got that right?
CATS
CAT.
ladies.
Oh, CATS. CATS. My bad. I'm sorry. CATS.
1, 2, 3, 4.
let me correct that, because somebody might come in and watch that later, and Lord Smiley done got all that wrong. Hold on a minute.
It's
Let's
okay.
see. No, it's not. Let me correct it. Hold on a minute.
But I did talk to the prosecutor. I don't want to bother her because she's got many, 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 many years to go over the paperwork. Many, many, many years, many, many arguments, and she's following David Gilbert. And she said he did a phenomenal job, which he did. I took a picture with them and the first officer on the scene, and signed my daughter's page.
Uh-huh.
And I had an advocate with me all the time. She met me at the courthouse. She made sure I got it back in the cab and went back to my motel. I mean, that's what advocates are for when this happens to women or a family member that goes missing or is deceased. They got to get a hold of the court's advocate system, because victims have advocates in their courthouses and they can get help through them. I know, like Brandy, the people that, they stay right there in that area. So, but she still needs a victim's advocate.
Yeah.
So, anyone that's ever lost a child, your local courthouse has victim advocates. And I was on the phone with the prosecutor, and I met her on the phone. And she told me, Robin, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Let your son know I'm so sorry. And
Oh.
I will definitely follow in David Gilbert's steps, and I will definitely fight for Nicole.
Yeah.
So, this woman, his attorney, she needs to buckle up and shut up. She's not even a freaking attorney, she's a damn public defender.
Yeah. My goodness. All right.
Mm.
I just sent you a little something, Robin. I hope I hope somebody sends Robin something. It don't matter what it is. I hope y'all send her a little something, and I hope somebody goes to the grave. And I wish I was close, cause I sure would go there and put some things on the grave and stuff like
Well,
that.
I posted it on my daughter's Facebook, and I got a lady that's waiting for April, and she said she would go. I said, Mary, if you've already told me you were going to do this before, and you
Yeah,
never went over there. Now take a picture so I can post it on my daughter's Facebook.
yeah,
uh, because I want everyone to see. Because my oldest daughter, she's 18, but a couple years ago she went to Michigan because her aunt moved to Michigan, and she took a huge they took a huge pot of beautiful flowers up there and took pictures. And my son went to Michigan a couple years back to go see his dad.
uh huh.
The whole family went, and they all went to Nicole's grave.
Oh wow.
I
Let's
just
see.
need to know that Nicole's stone isn't in the ground, like, because if I have to go to Michigan and I see that Nicole's stone is in the ground, like I always see it, because it needs to be up further, and I'll let them know, look, you need to fix
Thank you,
this.
honey.
You need to fix this because this is not how this stone is supposed to be.
Right.
And
Yeah.
her stepbrother went out one day, and he hasn't been back, I don't believe. His mother is my friend on Facebook. Um, he went out there and he got that stone clean. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's bronze. And it's supposed to look like that, but it doesn't look like that.
Yeah. All right. Somebody sent me something, and I'll pass it on to you. But it says parents and victims of murdered children support and resources for grieving families. I'm gonna send this to you too. I'll send it to your messenger. Okay.
Okay.
Just so you have it. I'm gonna do it right now. Just open it through email. Hold on. Let's see. Let me get your messenger. Mm, oh, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I do have my own advocate. I'll talk to any advocate in Michigan that knows about Nicole's case.
Yeah.
I'll talk to anyone. I'll shoot.
I bet you've met a lot of people through this, and but that is some information for you and something you can look at or whatever. But you know, anything and everything helps. And I'm I think this is just my opinion, and this is why I like to do these things. Well, I don't like to do them because under the circumstances. But the reason that I do this and that I like to speak with people, even if it is cases that's what I'm trying to say, even a long time ago and stuff like that, you see this guy is trying to appeal, get out, all this stuff. And I like to speak with people. I don't care if the story's been told before. I don't care. Y'all say what you want to say. Look, Robin's story, her voice for Nicole, is going to help somebody else that has never heard the story. How many of you in here right now? There's not many people in here because I understand other people's running their live, which that's fine. But there's going to be people to rewatch this. There's going to be people on replays. There'll be people tomorrow, the next day, whatever. There'll be people trotting through here that's never been in my live ever before. It won't be live. It'll be a rerun that will watch this. And it's going to help them in some way, shape, or form. And it needs to be heard. It needs to be out there. So I don't care that she's told her story before.
Oh, I've told my story before. I've been on platforms.
No, they haven't. Yeah, nobody said anything. I'm just saying.
And
it's good. It's good. I'm glad you have. You keep her voice out there. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I try to change her pictures to, like, right now she's, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah.
change her picture.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your daughter, and you keep telling her story.
And you see my son on my Facebook page. That's because this is his month.
Absolutely.
Next month is Nicole's month.
Absolutely. Woman's Warrior said you need to keep telling her story. And look, y'all share this. I'll probably put it over on Twitter. I'll probably put it over on let's see, I don't know if I'm good yet at putting it on TikTok. I don't know, but I know I'll put it on Facebook. But anyway, I'll do that because I figured out the more people that see it, the more it helps the story get out. And it needs to be told. It needs to be shared. And people need to hear this.
And the feet and the socks, they need to come clean.
And they do.
Sorry. You need to come clean. Because not only did you do something to Sebastian, but you have guilty knowledge, and you also lied to law enforcement, and that's a felony.
Absolutely. And I feel like, in my opinion, that will, and in fact, next time that I was thrilled today, I feel like I was listening to something. I'll just play it. I know people's heard them, and I recommend it another day. Y'all can go listen to Rich and Ruby, and I might have shared him, but today I don't know, shared his page, but I'm going to listen to that clip next time that I come on. I feel like he was reading my mind, honest to God, but I think he did it last night when he got out from work or this morning. I promise you, and drop his link. Not crazy. I feel like he said why that they feel like there hasn't been an arrest. I couldn't have said it better myself or explained it to anyone better myself. But anyway, it was a great live, and I'm going to play that next time. I don't know if I'll go on live tonight about Sebastian, but I will go on tomorrow for sure. And y'all keep saying his name, spreading his word in his face. It's important that all of these kids, everybody, get found and get justice.
Dog has something coming out at 11 o'clock tonight.
11 o'clock?
11 o'clock tonight. I've already shared it to all Sebastian's groups that I'm on.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm with it. I'm Saul Sebastian strong.
Yes, absolutely.
That little cutie right there, he stole my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, he stole mine
Seth,
too. And
Seth's twin.
yeah, yep. Well, Robin, I'm going to get off of here, but I appreciate you telling your story. I think you're doing good. And I think so many people need to hear this and they will hear it. And nobody will ever forget about your daughter. And whenever they see this man's, his name come up or his face, they're going to always, in my opinion, remember that. In fact, let me show y'all. Let's see. Let me show you this.
Dog will be on YouTube.
Oh, he will? Good. Okay. All right. Hold on a minute.
I seen someone ask where.
This is him. And see, they updated this. I don't know when they updated it, but it don't matter. You can see he's still smiling. What in the hell do you have to smile about?
Right.
When you did such things? I just want to know. But he still thinks you should smile in a picture.
He just disgusts me.
Because every once in a while when you're in prison, they have to update your picture. This is not when he was 16. This is pretty recent.
And the courts, they had to send me a letter stating that Jason changed one letter in his last name or his middle name. It's Jason Benjamin Simons, and he changed a letter in his middle name. Like,
Yeah, but how was he legal? I see it now. How was he legally able? Well, he was legally able to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's his attorneys were, praising him. They even flew someone from down here up there that was an inmate with Jason, and he had nothing but good things to say about Jason. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
Wow.
But that didn't work.
Yeah.
The defense tried everything they could to help Jason get out of that prison. And I'm like, it's not going to work. I saw the judge. I watched her and I knew what she was going to say.
Yeah. And I was reading, this is still where he's at, correct? This, correctional faculty.
Richard Handlin, Ionia State Prison.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was looking at that, and I was looking at because usually they always they put I don't know if you can see it because of the light or whatever, but anyway, they usually I forgot I put it. They usually put the skills and stuff like that. That they have there, the programming and all that, vocational, their programs. They don't have very many things, is what I'm getting at that prison to rehabilitate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not very many. Look up the prisons in Florida, for example, and compare them to this prison right here.
And the messed up part about it is Michigan don't have the death penalty. And I brought that up to somebody in the courts, and they said, well, we wouldn't put him to death anyway. He was a child.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
But you come to Florida and you leave on probation because
yeah.
Grady Judd don't play.
No, he don't. We need a Grady Judd everywhere, honey.
We need a Grady Judd in Tennessee.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, um, I was just looking at that. I was like, I forgot I had that today. I was looking at that. So it's is hold on a minute. Let me look at something else. Families, public information. Uh, yeah, isn't it like a medium security? It's
He's
not.
in regular population, and from what I've heard from some of my friends that have people in prison, they said that he's been hard and beat up, but I've never heard anything from my advocate, so maybe
Yeah,
they're not keeping up with it.
yeah. Wow. Well, yeah. I just I don't know. It's well, evidently he's not getting what your daughter got. He's not getting what he deserves, in my opinion. That's just me. But I'm not the judge, jury, and that is not even the 12 that sit on there, not even the one that sat behind the desk. He'll answer one day to
Right.
the real judge, you know. So
Thank you, Smiley.
thank
Everything.
you.
Thank you, y'all. Let's just thank you and keep sharing my daughter. She did not deserve this whatsoever. And nobody, no child deserves this. I
No,
don't I don't I'm just not even sure about Monkey. I don't know. I just don't have a feeling that I don't know how to say it. I don't have a feeling in me that he's gone. I don't have a feeling in me that Sebastian's gone neither.
well, I know that there's always hope, and wouldn't it be after all Brandy's been through and them digging and saying that, wouldn't it be a miracle if they brought him home to her?
Yeah, and Summer. I
And
don't
so,
think
oh my God,
I don't think Summer's even in Tennessee. So that's just how I feel.
I know there's always hope. No matter what we think, there is always hope. Never, ever, ever give up hope. Never. We all thank you for coming up here and telling your daughter's story. I've kind of read it a little bit, but I never knew the whole extent to it. It's very heartbreaking. It really is. I appreciate you letting me know. I never knew how deep it was, and
Yeah.
gosh, man, I hope nobody ever has to go through this. And then with the loss of your son coming up, I am so sorry about that. Also, um, I'm glad she told me she has one son left, which I know she's very proud of, and she has 6 grandchildren, and I know she loves them and adores them to death. And I'm I'm very sorry about your loss. I'm very sorry you're having to go through this. I don't know why. I don't know the reasons, but I want you to keep advocating and doing what you're doing. And I thank you for when you popped up that night and told me you would let me tell your story. I was shocked, and I'm very glad that you did, because um, I'm just very thankful that you trusted me enough to tell your story. And that's something very fragile to a mother who has lost a child like this. And I thank you. And I thank you for coming up here and letting my audience hear this.
Well, Smiley, I've been watching you for a long time now. And when you interviewed, I felt kind of awkward about how I thought that you were kind of like maybe on their side, or maybe you had some tactic to try to get something out of them. And I was like, mm, now I'm going to try her.
Yeah. No, a lot of people I think
And
misunderstand me.
then when I realized that you're really mad because Sebastian is still not found,
Hmm.
because we know Sebastian did not walk out that door.
Right.
Nobody has to tell us. We know. The
Right.
whole United States of America knows,
Yeah.
and beyond knows Sebastian did not walk out that door,
Yeah. Anybody can see that.
especially
Absolutely.
with no shoes on and it's freezing cold outside.
Right. Yeah. Anybody can see that if they want to, if they open their eyes big enough. It don't take a whole lot to see that. I just want to give everybody the opportunity to, when I interview people, um, which by the way, I was kind of caught off guard, but I just want to see. I think a lot of people mistake me, but I want to get. I want to um, allow them the opportunity
Ooh, yes.
to speak. I don't want to cut them off. I don't want to let them speak their piece. You know.
Well, they've already messed up, so
Oh yeah, yeah. But
many, many, many times. That's why they're shutting up.
yeah, yeah,
The person, like, they got to remember those lies, and I keep telling everyone because I'm a mod in one of Sebastian's groups, and you know you don't want to listen to me. Don't smart mouth me because you won't be in here long, and your comment will be hid. Okay?
yeah,
No, I don't know that they did this. No, I don't know them. I don't want to know them, and I will never go to Tennessee.
yeah.
Tennessee, you seem to disappear when you go to Tennessee. So I don't want to disappear right now.
Right.
I still got work to do.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, you keep that work up and keep that voice out for Nicole, and let's, just worry about right now keeping the voice out for these kids who need it, because Lord knows, honey, their parents ain't doing it. And let's keep Jason behind bars.
Yes.
And if there's anything, I can do to help, help, let me know and I will. And I'll do my best. And I'm really glad you came up.
I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you. And I'm going to leave this up here. And if anybody wants to come in on replay, rewind, or whatever, we usually don't leave these up, but I'm going to leave it up. And that's Robin's, anything will help. She may need to get back to Michigan by plane or something like that. I don't know. But anything will help if you can. I don't ever ask for anything. So just go ahead and send it over to Robin. And I appreciate you guys coming in here. And I'm going to play her little intro as an outro again.
Mm.
And I thank you all for coming in and joining us. Thank you so, so much. Hold on just a minute and let me get it up. Thank you all. Hold on. Good night, y'all. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.